Hello student of class 10. Today I am going to start a new lesson from social science, that is history lesson number 6, colonialism and urban changes. Colonialism means the settlement of people of other countries into a different countries, and they started their own colony, so it is called as colonialism. Suppose the British came to India to do business and they start settling in India for doing their business for their benefit, and in this way we can say it as India got a colonialism of British nationals. Now it is because of the colonialism which led to changes in urban structure of the country. So why the British came to India? Why the British came to India? The British came to India in the form of a company to do business. To do business. So this business, to do the business, the British came in the form of a company called English East India Company. And the sole function of the English East India Company was to do the business, only the business, to earn huge profit by buying the raw materials from India and selling the finished product manufactured in their own industry into India again, because India provided a huge market for dumping their product into India. So this English India Company first settled their permanent factory in India in 1612, about 400 years ago. And as it started its own company for doing business, and they started to acquire political and economic control gradually and became the ruler of the country of India. So in this way, this English East India Company tried to accumulate huge wealth from India, and doing so they tried to impose huge taxes and economical policies which made the life of the people of India difficult. And as a result, the revolt of 1857 was fought against the British national. Okay, this revolt was the first war of independence of the Indians to release the Indians themselves from the clutches of the British colonialism. And finally, after the revolt of 1857, the ruling of East India Company ended. As the ruling ended, now the British started to rule over India directly. And after the revolt of 1857, India was known as British India. So we know that as India was ruled directly by British India, but all the part of the Indian territory was not ruled over by the British. Some part were directly ruled by the British, which we call as British India, and some part which were not taken by the British, which were not annexed by the British, it is called as princely state. It was called as princely state. And at the time of independence, India was remained divided into about more than 1,500 princely states. So this is the short stints of the summary of this lesson, that is British presence in India, how British came to India, why they came to India, and what they did in India. Then the British tried to start their colony after taking various permission from the emperors in deed and time. So the British started their colonialism, and the first and foremost of colonialism is to do trade. As I have already mentioned, the Europeans started colonialism in different countries of the world firstly. So primary nations established colonies to gain economic profit. So England colonized India for economic profit. And in this way, the Industrial Revolution, which had begun in British or in European nation in about 1800s, and new markets and raw materials were needed to uphold a new industry. You see, to run an industry during Industrial Revolution, when new industries were formed, the industries needed certain criteria. First of all, they need raw materials, and also to sell their product, they need new market. To sell their product, they need. So the British need new market to sell their product. So India became the main hub for the raw materials. India could provide raw materials in cheap price, and it tried to sell the product as India provide the big market to sell the product of British. So सस्ता में कच्चा माल लेके जाएगा ब्रिटिश, और फ़ायदा निकालने के लिए इंडिया को ही बेचेगा उन लोगों का सामान. So in this way, these nations depend on their colonies for raw materials to be used in their factories. So the British started to depend on India for their raw materials, for the survival of the industries, and these industries will make their product, and again it will send to India to the markets of the Indian to sell their product. Okay, so they could produce a growing numbers of manufactured goods. They thought that they would sell the manufactured good to their colonies. That is one cause of the colonialism. One cause of colonialism, number one. Next one was nationalism. Nationalism, as you have already learned in the previous chapter from Revolt of 1857, that is the thinking and having affection towards one's country. So the European nations had a strong sense of national pride. Okay, during French Revolution, when the French started to revolt against their own ruler for their own rights and benefits, which regarded as French Revolution. So again, the British had also started a sense of nationalism in their own mind, and as a strong sense of nationalism, by obtaining power over foreign lands, India was a good source of obtaining power, as India was a foreign land and the British were always trying to take over the power of the country, foreign land, and nations were also be strengthened their military, and by taking the resource from India, the British would strengthen their military power mostly and will become stronger enough than any other country. So this increased their status as a world power. So England had a good status, okay, before our independence as a world power for their military power and for their mights. So this is the part of colonialism from page number 39. I have also mentioned. So next we will discuss about de-urbanization, how the colonialism started de-urbanizing in India. So I hope so you will understand. If you don't understand, then do ask me in the group whenever you like. So it will be helpful for me that you have understood the lesson. The lesson is quite longer. We need to finish, and there are several lessons which has been included in your half-yearly syllabus. So we should finish as early as possible. As you study, go on study. Okay, it will be easy for you. As early as possible, you will finish the course. So thank you.